he handled the birther stuff. So back in, criticizing him for that. So at least since 2011, we've been pretty critical on this show of Donald Trump. And I had examples from 2011, 2012, 2013, 2015. I don't know if I had a 2014 or not. But bottom line is a lot of stuff. So leading up to this, he comes out and makes his announcement. I included extensive transcripts of his announcement in which we hammering him.
Hammered the whole time.
Mocked him the entire time because of things that he was, just the way he was doing it, policies that he was saying, calling him a progressive, all throughout that. When he made the announcement, that happened live on the show. We criticized him from there.
How many times have we called for an interview up to that point?
Zero.
Okay.
Never called him for an interview. No. So through that entire month, we continued to criticize him. Then Glenn, if you remember, last summer, was off for a month for health reasons. So Pat and I were filling in. We hammered him the entire month. In fact, we hammered him on his policies so much for so long. We got so sick of it. We actually started if you remember, a Trump-free zone for a couple of days before vacation. We're like, I don't want to talk about Trump anymore. It's a Trump-free zone for a couple of days.
But how many times have we called him for an interview before then?
0 times still. We had not called him.
Altogether.
No, altogether calculating 0. Okay. So then we go on vacation. We come back from vacation in August, and for several weeks continue to criticize him and say his policies are progressive and go through his history and talk about the things he believes.
Now, you should tell the truth. I actually called you and said this Trump free zone thing is a bad idea. We shouldn't be that way. And I don't want to talk about Trump all the time. And then I got here, and then the news.
You were actually pissed at us for doing this.
I was really pissed. And then I come in and I look at the news every day, and I get so pissed at the news, I'm worse than these guys are. Stu, everybody says Stu is a ringleader. No, I told them to stop it, and I'm worse than they. They are like, Glenn, just want to remind you, you don't want to do this. And I've been saying, no, I can't let this stand. This is craziness.
Right. So about 3 weeks.
All before. Now, how many to this point that Glenn just talked about? How many times have we requested an interview with Donald
0.
Trump?
Now, remember, we're over 4 years into the criticism now. Okay? 0 times. Now, about 3 weeks after we returned from that vacation, Glenn starts saying, should we at least have him on to answer these things?
Like, and I thought that was a good idea. I thought it'd be fun, right, because here we are criticizing him all this time. Now he can respond to those charges or the things that we've...
Because he wasn't getting held, his feet weren't being held to the fire by the media.
You were against it from the beginning.
Because
you were the ringleader on that. Yes. You did not want to interview him.
No, because I knew he was just going to come on here and lie, and we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and I said no because I didn't want to appear as though I just wanted the ratings.
Yes, that was your reason.
And I said that over and over again on the air.
Now, about August 25th was the date. You said maybe we should at least have him on to answer these questions. So we emailed them. We went back and forth. I think we went once on August 25th, and I think once in September, a different booker reached out and got in contact with him.
How many times did Glenn call, though?
0 times.
Okay. I have to throw in, you should look up the date of when I went in Washington. They had the Iran rally.
Right.
Because that's when his person approached one of my people and said, by the way, I know that Glenn wants an interview, Donald will have to call or Glenn will have to call him himself.
Right.
And I was like, that's craziness. We've never done that before. And then I said a few days after there, I will call him, but I need a time. I need an appointment. And that's when my person called out and said, okay, Glenn will call, but needs an appointment. And I was iffy on it in the first place.
You shouldn't. I mean,
I shouldn't have gone that far.
Yes. That was,
everybody was against it.
Yes.
Everybody was against it.
He wanted you to kiss the ring.
And so I said, I will call. There's no shame. I'll call. So I was going to call, and they said, no, he won't give a time. You just have to call and catch him. Yeah. And that's when I just lost it. When I said, screw you.
Yeah, because it wasn't about that. He wanted you to kiss the ring.
You want me to kiss the ring? Right. I am not kissing your ring.
So, again, and then after that, there's been nothing. So, what Donald Trump is presenting to America
is a lie.
It's a lie. Now, what he's saying is the only reason we're critical of him is because he won't do an interview.
Which is a lie.
When in reality, the only reason we wanted an interview was for him to answer our criticisms.
Yeah.
It's the chicken egg thing where he's completely lying about the order.
But what would you call that? Would you call that lying?
I would call it an absolute blatant lie. And one, of course, that he knows is a lie.
He knows it's a lie.
If you are supporting him right now,
he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He also knows, and he keeps saying this all over the country, wherever he goes, and in tweets every day, that you got fired from Fox News, which he also knows is a flat-out lie.
Again, another example
it's a lie.
Of that is that he praised, before this campaign started, was praising behind the scenes the Blaze and how wonderful it was.
And that's why it's also a lie that the business is washed up. But, you can say that all day if you want to. Whatever. Everybody knows that's
I don't really
true.
As I said this weekend, you want to make fun of me? Oh my gosh, stand in line. You got to get behind Pat, Stu, and Jeffy, first of all.
Yes.
So stand in line and making fun of me, and there's a million things you can do to make fun of me, and that's fine. My wife doesn't like the personal hits, but I'm fine with it. The amazing thing is the lies that no one seems to care about.
Just accept it. It's like Ted Cruz is, he's fine. He's a Canadian citizen. I've checked it all out. And now the main thing he was saying about the Keystone Pipeline. The only reason Cruz wants it is because he's a Canadian.
Do you have the establishment part? Do you have the establishment part that he said? Listen, this is this weekend. This is this weekend. He is telling you who he is going to be. So the establishment is coming out. We've told you. Bob Dole, Mitch McConnell, John McCain, all of the establishment, they're all coming out for Donald Trump. And the New York Times reported, because an insider of the establishment said, because we know he'll be a deal maker. Ted Cruz won't be a deal maker, and we can get things done with Donald Trump. That's exactly the opposite of what you said you wanted. Now listen to what Donald Trump said, admitted to this weekend.
Can't make a deal. There is total gridlock. Guys like Ted Cruz will never make a deal because he's a strident guy. No, you cannot have that. I told you, he's trying to paint me as part of the establishment. And somebody said, establishment? Well, how come Sarah Palin just packed them? Establishment. And you know what? There's a point at which, let's get to be a little establishment. We got to get things done, folks.
Stop. Do you see what he just did there?
Yes. Establishment. How could I be establishment? But there comes a time when we have to be a little bit of the establishment.
I mean, the next sentence, he's admitting he is establishment. After he denies that he's part of the establishment, as Ted Cruz is saying, then he says, but I am part of the establishment.
Because we have to be.
We have to make a deal.
That's why, quite honestly,
unbelievable.
People have said to me, Glenn, how can you go against Rand Paul? You've liked Rand Paul because he made a deal with Mitch McConnell. I'm sorry, I can't let it go. He made a deal with Mitch McConnell, and that made me question everything.
And he's still better than a lot of people.
He's better than a lot of people. I'll still pull the lever for him. He's better than a lot of people. But that one time he made the deal with the establishment made me question him. This guy's saying, come on, we're going to have to make deals. We're just going to have to make deals. That's craziness. Craziness.